Hello there, Together Learners. So, you think you're ready to start making a game? Maybe some sort of gamified experience for tourism or some learning experience that you want to make, but you're not quite sure if you have your idea fully formed and you're not quite sure how to get started. Well, in this video, we're going to talk about something called the game design document. The game design document is something that will help you kind of get your ideas formed and maybe collaborate with other people, test your ideas in your own brain before you start going through the process of developing your game. All right? And so this is going to be a very helpful kind of thing for people starting to make a game for the first time or trying to gamify some experience for business or tourism, etc. Coming right up in this video, the game design. What is the game design document? Well, it's really simple, actually. It's something that we start to create to help brainstorm ideas, to put our ideas together, to kind of test our ideas in our own mind before we start trying to develop them. And we're kind of using these in a class that we're teaching at Together Learning called Game-Based Tourism, where we're looking at games like this called Ingress and how games are helping to either supplement or help inform the design of games for travel, for location-based gaming, for moving around and putting game elements in travel. So what is a GDD? GDD, Game Design Document. It's basically a document that describes your software or your game or your gamified experience and gives the core elements of the game. Basically, it's just a design document that lists your goals and the elements and the ideas for your game. It's a way for you to get your ideas down on paper or digital paper before you start designing things. All right, so why do we do this? Why do we make a game design document? Well, you want to try to figure out what you want to accomplish, try to figure out maybe some of the problems or issues that might arise with a particular game design. When we make games, we'll have to kind of experiment and play test, of course, because there's a lot of dynamics involved in gameplay. So being able to kind of flesh out some ideas, kind of get some concepts out and put them in a place where we can start maybe even collaborating with others. You really want to make a game design document if you're going to be making a game with other people, so everyone can kind of get on the same page as you move forward in creating the game. So it's to brainstorm your ideas, to clarify the goals of the game, what you want to accomplish by designing, creating, and putting this game out into the world. And you want to kind of think about what that core experience is going to be. In our game-based tourism class, we talk a lot about the game experience and how we design great experiences. And so creating this document will help you kind of get to the essence of what that experience you want to create for the people that try out, play, or experience your game. The last thing here is very important. This is not to plan your gameplay in detail. Some people have, when they first design a game, they have this whole maybe story arc in their mind. They have these little intricate game mechanics that you want to explain or do in your game design documents. You can summarize them, but I don't really recommend trying to plan out a game in super detail in your game design document. Because as you start to develop your game, you'll notice maybe there's some technical issues where you can't accomplish what you want to accomplish, and maybe some game mechanics or gameplay ideas that don't quite work well when you get maybe multiple people playing together. Things that you'll find out later when you maybe game test or beta test your game. So especially for new users, the game design document is really helpful to help you kind of clarify and make your ideas more concise. But I wouldn't recommend trying to go into too much detail because those details are likely going to change quite a bit when you start developing, especially for new users, because you don't quite understand maybe the limitations of the platform, the software, the how this game is going to get implemented in maybe in your business or travel plans, right? Or tourism, location, right? So clarify, get some ideas out, get that core experience down, but try not to go into too much detail about the story or the arc or the mechanics. That comes a little bit later, right? So there are some kind of, there's no real kind of set way to create a game design document, but there are some kind of key points that will really, I think, help you in first designing your game in the game design document. So I added some parts here that might help first-time people making a game design document. Okay, first of all, you want to have an overview, sort of like the working title of your game and kind of the overall idea or concept of your game. Or keep that probably short, a couple of sentences. What really helps me and a lot of other people when designing a game is try to come up with a feel, an atmosphere for your game. And what really helps with that is making some concept art. If you're not an artist, maybe go on the web and search for some imagery and put that in there, maybe so you can draw on inspiration from other games or other kind of genres or other kind of feelings. So this is a gaming, especially video gaming, board gaming, is not just a communicative art. You're not going to just use words in this document. You're going to try to express it with other media, maybe even pull in some game mechanics from YouTube or something that you see and you find interesting that you want to incorporate the basis of your game on, right? So during that section, that conceptual art section, it's for you to kind of inspire yourself, inspire your team to draw on the atmosphere, the game mechanics, the imagery of the game that you're looking to create. Next, you're going to want to talk about the game experience, right? The essence of that game experience. What is it going to be like? What kind of, like, where is it going to happen mostly? How will it be delivered, kind of? How will people get to experience the game, and how will they interact with the game, etc.? So that kind of goes with the player dynamics and the game dynamics of the game. So you starting to touch upon these things, and when you move a little bit deeper, maybe in the core dynamics, which is the next section, where you talk about things like, is this a turn-based game? Is this a role-playing game? Is this going to have points or leaderboards or things like that that you want to, systems that you want to add in the game that you think are important and key to making that game experience possible, right? And also the next one here is you're trying to talk about the flow of the game, right? You want to get your users in a state of flow, the people that play in the game, your players in a state of flow. So you want to think a little bit about how the game progresses. Usually in this part of the game design process, you want to also think a little bit about onboarding or getting people into the game and knowing how to play. This is often a very tricky situation because, especially in gamified tourism type situations, because you don't want to spend too much time making things complicated and having people learn the game. You want to get them into the game as quickly as possible and learning as they play. So you might want to, in this phase of the game design document, think a little bit about how players are going to kind of get themselves immersed in your game, learn how to play the game, and get better at it, progress as the game goes on. And lastly, kind of an important thing to think about in the game design document is how you might start to progress to actually make this game. What tools are you going to need? What expertise are you going to need? Are you going to need some voice actors? You're going to need an artist. You're going to need a mobile applications developer, a website creator, or are you going to be doing all these things yourself? What kind of things and tools and technologies? You're going to be using Unity or maybe some Adobe Pro, Premiere Pro to create videos and things like that. How will you progress and develop and have a kind of a basic idea how you want to proceed in making your game will be really helpful, especially starting out at the beginning. Right? Right. So if you want to grab on to this kind of content and you want to learn more and learn together with us, we're doing this course at togetherlearning.com and with a couple of other game-based courses. And on this course, this game-based tourism course, we've created this template that makes it easy for you and maybe a team that you're working with to create this document. It has all the things with explanations that I just mentioned in this video, and you can download that from our Discord server, our website, and maybe I'll even put some links down in the description of this video. All right, guys, that is the game design document to help you get started in thinking about brainstorming and moving forward with your game idea. I'm Eric. We'll see you in the next video, guys. Thanks. Bye.